Hey guys, it's Mitch. How's it going? We're doing another commentary thing, only it doesn't have anything to do with Blood Force for once. That we had a bit of extra time on the live streams, and it was around the time of the season, so figured we'd do some Krampus drawing. So just before we get into it, if you enjoy the channel, if you feel like you might want to help out a little bit, go subscribe to my Patreon. Links are in the description. So yeah, this was largely inspired by a couple of the guys posting some art on the Discord, right when we were getting up around Christmas. Naturally. We're all creepy old guys, so we got to draw creepy stuff for Christmas. It's like, hey, let's draw some Krampus. I'm sure the guys will appreciate me saying that. And so I was checking that out. I'm like, man, that looks like it'd be fun to draw. I think I'd like to give that a shot. And so tried to, I know what I can do with a Krampus thing. I'm generally not super inventive, so tried to come up with as many details as I could think of off of the. Looking at the Wikipedia page, really. So throw on the bells and the chains, give him like the hoof feet, and he's got to have the black fur and the horns and all that, the venom tongue. That's all there already. And the only thing really that I think sets mine apart, other than like just the general mood, which I think ends up being pretty good, is trying to figure out how to draw a goat head. And I was looking at stuff online, like just some reference photos, and I was like, I don't know how to draw a goat head, sure, and ended up looking at goat skulls, and I think started kind of sketching that underneath, just, to have like a template, like to work off of. And it's like, well, wait a minute, why don't I just try it with a goat skull? Because then it'll kind of look like that bear out of Annihilation, which is nightmare fuel, which is the vibe I'm going for. So yeah, we got our Krampus with a goat skull head. I don't know exactly how well that's going to come out, like how visible that's going to be in the final version, because it gets a little obscured, but we'll see, I guess. But so ended up, I tried to get like a pretty heavily shadowed feel to it, like it was moonlit, that kind of thing. And with all the fur on him, it tended to get this kind of rights inequality that I wasn't really planning on, but I mean I'll take on any friggin' day, absolutely. Try to get the maw in there, and yeah, you get the sharp teeth try to put sharp teeth on a goat skull didn't really work for one thing. I mean, it works well enough, I suppose. But, whenever you do that kind of yawning maw with the sharp teeth, I'm just like, oh, this is just the cleric. I've done this before. This is no problem. And with the venom tongue, we're going to have to do at least a little bit of drool, naturally. It's just, it's a little comforting if he's not drooling. We can't have that. He's got to be just, there's just a little bit off there. And get the Keone neck stretchies and everything, just a little bit, but can't miss a trick. And the best thing about this is that every little detail I feel like I've missed or feel like I didn't quite get 100% right, we're going to be obscuring that with snow. So that's no problem whatsoever. So yeah, I mean, this was like, I don't know, a week's worth of drawing, 2 straight streams, whichever. And I think I figured it was probably going to be pretty quick because it was going to be mostly black, and then you spritz a bunch of white on. How hard is that? And it's like, well, it's, there's a fair bit of drawing in between those two things. Even the friggin' horns take a little while, apparently. And yeah, liking the shagginess that I was managing with the fur on him here. Trying to make it just, focusing a little bit more on getting like a bit of feathering with the brush. Not the big brush. I'm useless with that thing. That's just for filling blacks. But the brush pens, anyway. So yeah, my actual technique with a brush, I don't think it's particularly good. So this kind of stuff is always good for practice. To try and just come up with something else, just get a different feel in there. And maybe if I do it enough, it'll stick around for a little while. You never know. Generally doesn't. If I'm not doing it constantly, it tends to go away pretty quick, which is why these the weekly live streams are so important, because they keep me, using different techniques fairly regularly. Every once in a while, I've got to draw something that I know I've drawn before. Oh, there's some unintentional black spots. That's supposed to be a roof that's behind him there. There we go, just white it all out. It's like it never happened. But yeah, every once in a while, I've got to use some kind of technique that I know I used like a year ago. And I got to learn that goddamn thing all over again. Every time. Such a pain. Trying to come up with some chains that aren't just McFarlane chains. You do the lazy thing where you basically just you draw it like it's a flat ribbon, and then you just do like a chain design in there. It's like no, we're gonna actually try and come up with some links and stuff. With the squatting, I don't know how well it works. It looks a little bit like he's squeezing one out, but again, we can obscure all that, so it's not. It looks less like that. And the deal, of course, is that he's perched on top of a roof. I haven't really described what's going on in the thing here. You might be a little confused. Perched on top of a roof in the middle of a snowstorm, and he's got his bag. And I think, the actual lore for what Krampus does seems to change a little bit. Where he's the guy who leaves coal, or he leaves something for bad children, or maybe he takes bad children. And naturally, we opted with he takes bad children in this case. So just got his sack with. I just try to kind of keep it simple. So just get like the hint of a head and then a child's foot in pajamas. Oh, I missed a trick by not making it footy pajamas. Damn, didn't think of that. And then cross-hatch the shit out of that bag. That's like the only cross-hatching you'll get in this entire thing. You better enjoy that. And still going to blacken large portions of it. Because again, low light. And not really going for... I was trying to avoid laziness in this one. Every once in a while, reasonably often I'll get a little lazy. But so this kind of thing, it's like it's not going to be a super long drawing. It's not going to take me a long time. So might as well try and throw in like a bit of detail here and there. But for stuff like the deep shadows, that's more about just getting the mood right in this case. And we gotta love filling in all those blacks. That's very satisfying. Just saw that pen. I missed that pen. I think this might have been put an end to that pen, unfortunately. I kind of like the curve of his back before I blacked in, a half an inch on it. That's okay. Again, we're spritzing over everything here at the end. It's not going to matter that much. Originally wanted to give him a people foot because he's supposed to have one hoof and one people foot. I was like, oh man, that'd be kind of weird having him have like a goat leg with a people foot at the end. So yeah, it's weird enough that I can't figure out how to make it work. So just figured, the hell with it. Just give him the goat leg. It's a bit more apparent what's going on. Yep, there's our head. That's that. The only thing I positioned the roof incorrectly, I feel like, because you can barely tell that's a chimney he's set against. I don't know. Maybe it comes through okay in the finished version, but I feel like I was just a little bit off there. But trying to center Krampus, and unless you make it way bigger, make it much more apparent, it was going to get largely hidden anyway, I think. I feel like we got some cross-hatching coming up. Here we go. Got to get that kind of leathery texture going. That's right. All right. And tried to kind of vary up. Didn't want flat tones or anything. Wanted it to feel lumpy. So I tried to vary up the cross-hatching in there. It's like, I think I was somewhat successful anyway. And then you throw extra detail on there. And now it's time for the snow. Just do light, brush strokes here and there, all over the place. Some bigger, some smaller, with a paintbrush, and then you load up a toothbrush with some more white paint, and you spritz that shit all over it. Try to build it up in some places, and let it go a little darker in others, because that's important too. You just like to get that feel of like a whipping wind, that sort of thing. And this is the final product, and I kind of like how it turned out, really. Again, there's bits and pieces here or there. It's like, this turned out okay. This could have used a bit of work, but for the most part, I think it worked pretty well. I really enjoyed doing that snow. It was getting difficult to stop doing the snow at the end. It's still not enough. He's too apparent throughout it, and we need to obscure him more. It's like, no, this is about right, I think. So anyway, that's my Krampus. I think it was pretty good. You know, sometimes I think people should commission me for stuff so that I can draw this kind of thing more often. As it is, you know, I'm stuck drawing my comic all the time. Like, what are you going to do? It's a hard life. Anyway, that'll do it for this one. You know, we love our holiday-themed horror art. And every holiday has to have a horror theme of some kind, right? I've seen it done for Easter. I'm sure I could think of one for Valentine's Day. That wouldn't be too difficult. Something with somebody's heart getting ripped out, obviously, right? Labor Day might be difficult. Anyway, maybe I just got to find a way to try and fit in more horror drawings. You know, get through 2-3 pages, do a horror drawing. Why not, right? I'll need suggestions, though. Drop suggestions in the comments. There you go. I will find a way to mine you for engagement. Fear not. But for this one anyway, that is going to do it. Thanks very much for watching. If you like this video, please hit like, hit subscribe, hit the notifications so you know when the next one's coming out. Go over and subscribe on my Patreon. Gives you early access to everything I do, from the Blood Force stuff to the YouTube videos before they get uploaded to YouTube, as well as some Patreon exclusive content. You can also follow me on Instagram and DM me there for commissions, and you can join the Blood Force Discord server. But yeah, that's going to do it. Thanks very much for watching, guys. I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.